You're muted, so you got to take off mute to tell me I'm sorry. It's a rule.
Yeah. No, that's my office. But we're all in house.
That is a cool. I
We,
think that's nice.
Thank you.
Looks cool.
Yeah,
I thought you were at the bar.
Well, there is a bar two places down from us. I couldn't just run over there quick.
Trying to grab one, come back.
Yeah.
I'm the only one that works at bars, I think.
No. Wow.
I missed something, but Juan definitely has an interesting background compared to normal. I'm guessing he's home.
Yes. I have to come home because my wife told me that at 4:15 I have to go pick up my daughter. So after here, I have to jump up. I thought she was coming here at 3, and no, I just been it just notified me at 4:15 I have to go pick her up. Kids and phones, they can now make their own decisions and let you know. They're at their disposal.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we have.
All right, looks like we got a nice crew here. So let's go ahead and get this started. Recorded has started, so this will be accessible later. So welcome everybody to our February partner-led session. Today we have John Lohr from ConnectWise, and he's going to talk about all the beauties and his responsibilities as a partner success manager and what we can get as partners from that. Before we let Joe or John talk, I'll just take a couple of housekeeping things here. This is a partner-led session, so remember, these sessions are led by you guys. So if you have any ideas, anything that you would like to hear, just let us know. You can email me directly, use the Slack group, and just or via LinkedIn, and we will definitely bring those over here because we want to make sure that we meet your expectations. So this is a group for us. As always, I need to thank our partner advisory council. We have Richard here, Larry's here. We have John. I haven't seen Scott yet. He'll probably jump in. But yeah, we meet on a regular basis to make sure that we have everything lined up. And we want to be friends. So I think if we're going to put in our LinkedIn profiles out there on the chat, and feel free to reach out to us, contact.
And let's clarify, we don't all meet all the time. Some people don't make it. I'm not going to say names, John, but everybody else, for the most part, makes
some of us in the middle of the meeting, just
right.
Come in, random.
When they find time.
Yeah. Must be nice to be a ConnectWise employee and not have to work. What's it like working for the evil empire? I mean, they just, you crush the backs of the little guy.
You're cutting into my nap time right now. Can you please stop talking so we can get through this so I can go lay down?
So we can get to it.
I was gonna say, he's wearing his most comfortable T-shirt, so
it says ConnectWise. That's all I gotta say. It says ConnectWise. Proper branding. Meanwhile, look at your brother. He looks he's wearing his Snuggie right now. Okay, so. Oh, sorry, Juan.
Oh, we also have our sponsorship, our advisory sponsors. We got Sean with us, and Juan Fernandez. I don't think he's able to join this session, but we will see him next month. So more of that here later. Make sure that you follow us on social. So we do have our Slack group. So if you are not part of the Slack group, here is the link so you can join. We do have some updates out there, especially with all the upcoming sessions, the share events, the live events, so we can get together and try to keep everybody updated. So that is the best way to reach out to us, put any ideas if you have any questions, or stay up to date on what's happening with the Central Mafia. Also, this session is recorded, so it'll be posted on the YouTube channel. And if you want to review the previous ones, if you miss any of the other ones, you can go back in there and you can see the December and January are out there for you to review. So we do have some upcoming sessions. Next Tuesday, February 14th, Valentine's Day, we're going to stay together from 4 to 5 or 3 to 4 if you're on the Central Time Zone, and which is open discussion. Last time last month. We have a great session. Even went over. We were talking a lot of good points. We were able to share ideas, and we will do that again next week. And then next month we have Juan Fernandez. He's going to have a workshop for us, and that is like exclusive for this group, for the Central Mafia. It is from 3 to 5 on Thursday, March 9th. And he's still going to be talking about like the customer journey and what you can gather from your clients to have excellent success with them. And then in March, we're going to have 2 open mic sessions. Yes, Sean.
I'll say, by the way, the Juan Fernandez session, if you guys haven't seen his content before, it is spot on.
Yeah.
So I highly recommend you do so. And also he's very willing to help you guys. If you have questions during the course, he has, and even after, it doesn't matter. He's very much willing to help you guys with your growth strategy on this. And it's, I mean, I looked at it, I was impressed, and I repurposed some of his stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. If you can just follow him on LinkedIn, he has all those live sessions out there. And he's always live with great content out there. And I will send that invite with the calendar tomorrow. So you'll see that email go out there, and it will also post it on the Slack with a calendar invite, so you can add it to your calendar with the Teams link. As I was saying, also we have 2 open mics next month. One is going to be just a follow up to what we got from Juan, and then we're going to have one that we call Ready for Share. So Share is going to be in April. So it's just let's get together and see if there's anything specific that you want to see at the user group. I put in Share there, IT Nation Share, but at the user group, so we can go back to all the presenters and everybody who's going to be there. We're going to go back to the ConnectWise team, so we can be very specific and make sure that we cover what we want to see. Okay, so we can be very specific for us. And then, as you can see, in May, as we're getting ready for Secure, we're going to have a session around cybersecurity, and that is on Thursday, May 11th, and then on Tuesday, May 23rd, we're going to have a Ready for Secure, so we can work some things out, possibly, finalize how we can get together over in at the event, and anything specific before then.
And Juan, I've put all of the links for the things that we just spoke about into the chat as well for everybody.
Yeah, so if you have not registered for the user group, there's a link. So go ahead and register, and we will have this. Yeah, tomorrow there will be some other posts out there also, because we're finalizing our get together the night before. So keep your eyes open for that, because we're really want to make it fun for everybody. Speaking of the user group, this is our just the agenda. We do have a partner-led session on the general on the general session. So it's going to be just a discussion group, and it's going to be around business growth and scalability. We're still looking for a few speakers. So if you're interested, let me know. And as you can see, here's all the different rounds that we have for the afternoon, and there's also a partner-led session round there later in the day. And I do a little throwback there with the Central Mafia logo.
It's nice.
Found that one out there.
Is that is that the moon, or is that a C?
I think it's a moon.
And then maybe it's like a C for
it's
cheese.
like a little
like
gangster guy in the middle of the night. It could be. I don't know.
I mean, wow.
And we do have, again, we have that call for speakers. Looking for 4 to 5 to that panel, and then another one for our breakout session. So again, if you're interested, just reach out directly to me or to anybody in our council, and we'll put you in contact. You have to fill out a little form from ConnectWise to finalize some things in there, and we'll work together to make this an awesome opportunity for you to present, share your experience, and meet everybody at the user group event. All right, as we're getting ready, don't forget to use your chat to ask questions, and then we can monitor those and just interrupt or just let John know as he goes through it, and it will make it a lot easier just to keep the flow here. And then I think I have just one more. It's just to introduce John. So our speaker for today, we have John Lohr. John is partner success manager for ConnectWise. He's been doing this for a long time. He's been with ConnectWise for, I believe it's 9-10 years now, John?
Be 10 years in August.
10 years. And he's been all over from support, consulting, and now he is the partner success manager, which is basically making sure that we align our needs with solutions and make sure that we are successful. So he's going to go through all those items for us. So John, thank you so much, and the floor is yours, man.
All right, thank you, Juan. I appreciate it. Appreciate the introduction. Yeah, like Juan was saying, I've been with ConnectWise, going on 10 years now. I started off working with managed support and did managed consulting. And then I was part of the initial group to start Partner Success in 2019. So we're a fairly new group in ConnectWise, and really happy or just really grateful for the opportunity to kind of come here and speak with the group and talk about what our mission is, what we're looking to do. Not going to use any slides, just going to make this an open conversation. So if you want to, post in the chat channel or just interrupt me, please feel free to do so. I want to start off just talking a little bit about, what our mission is, what some of our driving core principles are in partner success, what we're here for, how our team is structured, and then what that means for you, how we can help our partners. And then some of the services or some of the things that we do to kind of, as Juan alluded to, help make sure the partners that we work for are successful with our tools, right? So, when we talk about our core, and then the time at the end for Q&A as well, and maybe go into some success stories or some of the things that I've seen in the 4 years that I've had an opportunity, going on 4 years that I've had an opportunity to be on this team. We're on the post-sale side of the house. So the idea here is we want to be laser focused on adoption of whatever product that you've purchased from ConnectWise, and then making sure that you're successful with it, right? So that helps out with our retention as well. So that's really our core guiding principle, right? To make sure that partners are using their adoption of the ConnectWise platform to drive verified business outcomes. And that's changed and evolved over time, and part of this year's strategy, which I'll go into a little bit more. As a success manager, I meet with partners regularly, and really, one of our, key roles is to be an advocate for the partner within ConnectWise, making sure that our leadership and leadership across the organization understands, the impact of some of the strategic decisions we're making, right? So, hopefully building trust and also, becoming a partner's trusted advisor as we move forward. A lot of us have been with ConnectWise for quite some time, so we've been indoctrinated in the best practices. We're always learning more from service leadership and from the Evolve team with modes theory. So over the last couple of years, we've been taking all of that learning and trying to incorporate it into what we're doing, so that we can be focused on not only product adoption, but here's the specific business outcomes we're trying to facilitate, right? With that adoption, right? So that's another great part of being on this team, just the knowledge and the information that we're able to communicate about how we can use our tools to meet goals. And then finally, what we're trying to do, and this is something that we've just released recently, when I'll talk about, is we want to get to a point where we can develop tailored success plans for partners that come to us. We're not consulting, right? We're not here to help you set the product up. But if you say, hey, these are the specific outcomes I'm looking to drive in my business, and I have these ConnectWise tools, right? How can I use them to achieve that outcome, right? And that's really where the success plan is. We then want to meet with you on a regular basis to say, hey, how we doing, right? And to kind of, track success together and see what roadblocks are and see how we can help. All right, so that's kind of the idea behind our success plans. And it's fairly new. It's something we're trying to kind of really dive into more this year, but something that I wanted to mention anyway. When we talk about our team, right, my expertise is in manage, but I essentially work with a pod of people that have expertise in automate, RMM, command, control, bright gauge, right? So we work together, right? And we may have specific accounts that we're assigned to or we work with regularly. But what we try to do is, as we're fielding these questions from partners about how do we do this best, where's the best practices on this, we're then kind of quarterbacking these requests as they come in from our partners to the people in our team and our pod that they can then help move forward with that question. And we'll talk about a little bit the what we use to kind of help drive success in a moment. But that's just our basic structure, right? We have expertise across the team, and we try to leverage that in teams. So where we can't, assign, somebody who's a managed expert to, a lot of people, we could say by having this team approach, we find that we get to engage with a lot more partners. We also work really closely with the account managers and account directors. That's something that we really kind of honed in on last year. So with partners that we meet with on a regular basis, we'll generally have quarterly or monthly meetings where the account manager and the account director also join, so that we're all on the same page, right? We're here on the partner success side of the house to make sure what you have purchased from us, we're helping you to adopt and to use correctly. And then if there are things that you don't currently have with ConnectWise, that's where the account manager comes in, right? But the idea that we're going to work together closely to kind of make sure that you're successful, we're all on the same page, is something that we've gotten a lot of positive feedback on, and something that kind of has really gained traction last year. So that's kind of the team-based approach that we use. We have, our partner success managers to bring their expertise of the platform. And then we have also the sales team that comes in. So we can all be aligned strategically about what your goals are and then how we can help. So how we help. So there's three main things that we do, right? We do health checks, we do product mentoring, and now success plans that we're rolling out. So health checks are basically a 1-hour light review of your, whatever product, configuration. And we also want to talk about business processes as well. And then we'll make recommendations on best practices, right? So I do these a lot for Manage. And of course, we have others that do it for other products. But in my experience with doing it for Manage, essentially what we're doing is we're running the 5 system audit reports that are in your system. I want to make sure you're all familiar with them as well, because I think they're a great resource for partners to use. And as I do these health checks, I find a lot of partners don't even know that they're in there. But there are audit reports in Manage that review your setup across agreements, general setup, finance, procurement, sales, and service. And in consulting, we would use those to do comprehensive audits. So if you want somebody to come on site and help you audit your system and fix things, they would use them. Now we use them, and you can use them as well, just to kind of have these health check discussions. How are things set up now? Did this look like they're set up in line with best practices? A lot of times what the reports do is really lead to good conversations. And what we find, people set things up, how they were when they were told to set it up during implementation, and then you're running at 100 miles an hour, nobody's thinking about it. But the business changed, processes change, the functionality of the tool changes as well. So occasionally just touch a base and kind of, going through it with someone who's done it before can help, facilitate some positive change and help people find things, little nuggets in the system that are going to help them use it better and again, drive better outcomes, right? Business wise. We also do product mentoring. So if you're not looking for a health check per se to do a general overview of your system, let's say you have, a particular module or a particular challenge that you're looking to deal with, or a module that you're looking to implement, right? And you want some ideas about, hey, what are best practices? How should I go about getting going with that? We also do these are called product mentoring calls. So not quite a health check, but same idea, 1 hour. We're really just very quick, focused in on, here's an issue I'm having. Here's a process we're looking to build out. What have you seen other partners do, right? How are others handling this, right? It's great to go out to the community and talk to other people. We get a chance to talk to a lot of people at these events as well, and they talk to us about one of the great things they're doing and how they're overcoming challenges. So we kind of try to share that information. It's just another avenue to kind of help understand how other partners are facing some challenges. And then now finally, we're rolling out what we're calling success plans, right? And this is a tailored goal setting framework to assist partners to connect their strategic objectives of what they're looking to accomplish to desired and verifiable business outcomes. Sorry, I had to read that. That's new. So little, but yeah, I mean, the idea again here is, let's say, you know, we're looking at our agreements and we're looking to restructure agreements to make things more efficient. This is just a simple example, right? In the past, maybe we didn't have any sort of standardization around agreement types or contract types. Now we're looking to do that. We understand why that can be beneficial. You know, how are other partners doing that? What are some of the things to look out for? How should we be doing this, right? I'm not going to give you all the answers, right? But we can kind of give you an overview of what we've seen and what we've seen as best practices through the MSPs that we've worked with, and we have a chance to learn from. And our idea is, like, you know, along with those, you know, as we get more partners doing these success plans, and we have these kind of monthly check-ins where we're seeing how ConnectWise is doing, we're seeing how you're doing, we're seeing how we can help. All right, we can follow up on these objectives and keep pushing towards making sure you're achieving those goals and being successful with your ConnectWise tools, you know, which in turn helps us be successful as well. So that's it at a high level. You know, I was going to take some time to, maybe, if anybody's interested, show everybody where those system audit reports are and how you can get to them. All right. Okay. Well, let me do that. Let me pull up my instance of.
Absolutely. And if anybody has any questions or something that you want to focus on, please just put it in the chat.
While you do that, John, I just want to add that I know, you know, you're going to go through the systems checks, and I know you and I ran those for Matrix a while back. But another thing that it was great when we had that, you know, that cadence is John always came up and say, hey, you know, we have this new feature that came out. Are you aware of it? So I know sometimes it's hard to, you know, they have all the release notes and have those, keeping up to date with all those features inside any of the tools. And it was nice for him to always remind me. It's like, hey, you probably want to check that out. Talk to your team about those things.
So is there a standardized place? Is there a standardized place that they can pull this information from, John? So you don't have to, so it doesn't require anybody to, like, actually let everybody know. Obviously, we put out announcements, but again, not everybody looks at their emails or reads things all the time.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I have some helpful links that I can share, like awesome. To Juan's point, right? Release notes, the roadmap, product service status, you know, some of those things that are, you know, I try on every one of our meetings that I have with partners to kind of share those links so that they have them, because to your point, right? Sometimes it's not easy to read all the emails you have coming out from ConnectWise, but yeah, I can share those links with you. Juan, can I just share a particular slide with you, and you can send it out to the group, or Richard, would that be okay? That has the links to these sites that we're talking about? You're muted.
Still muted. You're doing great, Juan. Don't keep talking. You're doing well.
I said so much earlier. Yeah, just send it to me.
Okay.
Just send it to me.
That's tonight's winning lottery numbers he gave out. Nobody could hear it.
And I will try to send a follow-up, and those links will be there.
Thank you. All right, so in Manage, if you go, can you see my screen? Mm-hmm. All right, so in Manage, if you go to All Reports, this is where the audit reports are found. So when this report screen loads, you'll see there's a report name column. I just put star audit in the report name field and click enter, and that will load the 5 system audit reports that you can run and manage. The first one is the agreement audit report. These are training databases, so there's not going to be any good data in here, but essentially this will show you, right, how many agreements you have set up, how many are bundled, what agreement type, you know, the quantity by agreement type, agreement workflow rules that you have set up. And then at the agreement level, it'll show you, you know, additions. Are you using additions, right? What are the default settings in terms of, you know, billable? Is the agreement set to do not bill? Oh, here we go. I can actually show this now. So again, it'll show you the type of agreements that you have, the quantity, whether they've been bundled or not, any agreement workflow rules that you have. On the individual agreements, it'll go by individual agreement as well. how are you billing it? Is it based on additions, right? Additions are basically how we recommend doing most agreements. So that's why this is in yellow. It doesn't have additions set up. Do those additions have costs associated with them? Are there exclusions set up? What are the application parameters set to? Are there defaults set up within the agreement? Anything in these reports that are in yellow, it's kind of like a caution thing. Why is it set up this way? Doesn't necessarily mean it shouldn't be set up that way. It's just it's a little on the edge. There's a specific use case for doing it this way, and are you following it? So again, like a conversation piece when you're talking with a team or with a company, or even doing the analysis of your own system, and maybe you don't really know what somebody else set up prior to you taking over administration. The general audit report looks at the company structure. It looks at member setup. So, is hourly cost set on everybody's page, right? Are they included in utilization reporting? Is their mapping name set for the calendar sync? Can they put time? Are they required to submit timesheets and expense reports? So again, these are just some in line with some of the best practices that we have in Manage. Also, it looks at member setup or work type and work role setup. How are those? Man, this is not going to show anything, but I'll just talk through the general one. How are the work roles and work types set up? Are they utilized, right? Is there a cost multiplier set? For work types, are there locations with $0 rates, right? So things that you really have to dig in the UI to find, it kind of shows you in a report so you can evaluate how your own system is set up. There's links to documentation on each of these reports. So if you have questions about how it's calculating or what it's pulling from or what a particular field means, the documentation, has that information in there. And then if you have questions, you can always reach out to Partner Success or consulting if you're looking for a consulting engagement. But our email address is partnersuccess@connectwise.com. The service report, sales report, procurement report, they're all excellent as well. I mean, the service report shows you your individual board setup, what your statuses are, what the associated escalation statuses are. Does that escalation status, is that in line with the actual status on the ticket? So it's a good way to see that without having to drill into the boards for SLA tracking. Status notifications, does the formatting look correct on all of those notifications? Who are they going to? It goes into SLA setup as well. How are the SLAs set up? Are they set up by priority? What are the goals set up for each of the different SLAs by priority? Where are they being applied? Who are they being applied to? Hey, Jason. Oh,
Yeah, we have a couple questions here. Michael had
Okay.
asked about should there be a parent and child agreement?
So we have
Well-
a master agreement, and then we have
Uh-huh.
a 365 agreement, and we have a flat rate IT agreement. That are
We
tucked both
recommend
under the parent.
bundling them if they're on the same billing cycle. That gives the customer, it allows you to have those as separate agreements in your system so that you can track, profitability individually on those different types of contracts. But at the same time, if you bundle them, the customer gets a single invoice. So it's a better customer experience with the bundling piece. You don't necessarily have to do it, but to me, if we want to, give the customer a single invoice, bundling does have an advantage there. They just have to be on the same billing cycle.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, he also
What-
asked about a fractional CFO. While you're here, you might as well see do you have a suggestion for one?
Yeah, we talked to Stride the other day.
Anybody have any
With them?
suggestions? We can talk about that in the Slack, Michael, if you're on the Slack channel with us.
No, I'm not.
Okay,
Yeah.
make sure if you guys haven't signed up in the Slack, make sure you guys get in. And we can also share all this stuff in the Slack group too. Anything that's presented from John or any other presenters.
What's a fractional CFO, if you don't mind me asking?
Instead of having a full-time CFO, he's a fractional. He comes in and he looks at your numbers and helps you
Yeah.
build KPIs, helps you build budgets, help you
Yeah.
forecast, help you sit at the table and have meetings with you and everything else.
Yeah, it's outsourcing the CFO.
Okay, I gotcha.
The problem is Strive is not really using ConnectWise, even though they're a ConnectWise partner. They're using QuickBooks. So we'd really like someone that dives into ConnectWise and pulls the information from ConnectWise and QuickBooks to give us a full picture.
Awesome.
Okay, and then Jason had a question here. Oh, what is the proper method, or why would you use a child agreement versus building an independent agreement?
So yeah, like I talked about before, it's the idea of giving the customer for these recurring services a single invoice, right? A lot of times, you know, the way Manage kind of reports on agreement profitability, it breaks it down by agreement type. So we've always recommended to say, hey, if you have, different business lines, recurring business lines, MRR, where you want to report on them independently and look at what your, gross margins are, and then be able to drill down from there and see, within, a particular agreements type, who are your most profitable customers, then not including everything on a single agreement and instead building out into multiple agreements, that has the advantage of giving you that insight. So you don't want to affect the customer by then giving them 4 different invoices because you want to track all 4 separately. So what bundling allows you to do then is just to combine them all. And this is not internal to ConnectWise. In ConnectWise, they all look like separate agreements. So in other words, if I go to a ticket and click the agreement dropdown, I'm still going to see those 4 agreements. It's the idea is, from a customer perspective, it's a single, they're billed on a single invoice for the services. That makes sense. Hey, Nicole.
Hey, I don't know if you just want questions in the chat, but I'd rather just speak it.
Awesome.
Thanks, John, for just explaining the what you all do as partner success managers today. I recall when it was first started, the success manager we were first assigned couldn't really explain her role. And so I guess I just want to understand for the level that you just gave, and now we have us as partners chiming in, asking questions pertinent to, the knowledge that just took us under the water of where the iceberg sits. If one of us were to come to you as the partner success manager, if you're assigned to us, are you then going to say, well, that'll cost you X dollars in order to get my expertise?
No, everything that we do is there's no charge for it. We're not, quota or sales driven or anything like that. We with the partners that we're assigned to, we'll work closely with you to kind of, give advice, kind of talk about what we're seeing and the best practices. If you want somebody to help you, like be your admin, like be your managed virtual admin or anything like that, yeah, there's a charge for that. And that's more about, actually doing the setup, right? Doing the work within the tool, right? That's consulting. We don't do that, right? What we do is there's no charge for it. It's, it's part of your benefit as being a ConnectWise partner.
Interesting. Okay. Well, I appreciate that, because from the start of that program, what I was getting when I would just come, hey, can you tell me what is the best way to approach? I was like, I always got a quote. And when I'm already paying double-digit thousands a month, I'm like, no, I'll go to the university. I'll figure it out myself.
Right.
But then there was also that it was just like, here's a link to the university, and I never had any dialogue. So it sounds to me like the program has moved into more of a phase where you desire to have conversations that teach. Am I correct?
Oh yeah, you're absolutely correct.
Okay. Thank you.
So
Yeah.
I actually met with John for an hour session, and I think he ran those reports. It's kind of but the way he did it was he said, hey, this is what we see out in the field, and this is what we see most people using the product for. You're using it this way, and this is how you would change that or use it better, efficiently, and kind of go through that. And then it was up to us to go ahead and implement that, which wasn't difficult at all. But he was giving us, I would say, kind of the best practices of how we were using certain things. Right? That makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, that's really helpful, because pre-me, ConnectWise was onboarded at our organization, and the person who did that onboarding is no longer with us. And as I look at how things were set up, I don't see it all to be best practice from what I learned in going through the university and learning the software. And so to have someone sit down and go, this is the best avenue to get through that would be great. Otherwise, I'm just trudging through it as I see the needs to correct them.
I found it completely worth it, if that
Right.
means anything.
Cool. Thank you. Appreciate the feedback.
Now, does anybody here know how to find who your partner success manager is?
No clue.
In
It should
ConnectWise
be in our home. Yeah, it should be. It's listed in our
Thought I
home.
ask.
I typically email account manager at.
Well, that's sales, right? So that's like, that's your sales guy. And if it's something, again, what we kind of learned last year was, I was initially, we've kind of grown, to Nicole's point, a lot in the last 4 years since we started this. And initially I was working with, 50 different account managers for the account. So we've kind of got alignment now with account management. So if you reach out to them or you reach out to me, and it's really something the account manager needs to work on. We have a good working relationship. We stay in touch with the accounts that we share. And so, we can get it routed over to the right account. If you reach out to partnersuccess@connectwise.com, we of course have our own board, our own queue, and then we have a dispatcher that routes the incoming request to the correct success manager. And if that particular company doesn't have a success manager, then we also have a team that's, takes up that request as well. And just like what I would do for any of my partners, finds the right resource to help with whatever challenge they're having.
John, do you recommend that we put in an admin support cost for an hourly rate against our internal people?
Hourly support. So
I'm in the audit
Yeah.
report for general system, their time and expenses.
Yeah.
It says description admin support, hourly rate. It's highlighted in yellow. It says 0.
No,
So
absolutely, there shouldn't be any hourly rate. The thing in that report is some of it is, it's not that smart, right? So in other words, it's if what's the rate multiplier? Is it C custom and then 0?
I don't know where I would see that.
So when you're looking at the time and expense report, you're looking at the admin work type, right?
Yeah, this just shows work roles by location, description, location, hourly rate, and location rate.
And so where are you seeing the issue there? Or maybe you want to share your screen. We can show me what you're talking about there.
Yeah. It's right here.
Okay, yeah. So anything that's 0 for these hourly rates is going to show in yellow. But no, I would never recommend having admin support. But what is that work role being used for?
It's my administrator who does the invoicing.
Gotcha. Yeah, perfect. That should be 0. You could also do that with a work type, but yeah, that there's no issue there. Sales, admin, again, yellow just means, hey, it's good to ask a question about this, but doesn't necessarily mean it's wrong. To me, there's no that setup is correct.
Okay.
Yeah. Awesome. Any other questions that I missed? You guys are just talking. All right.
It looks like we're going back and forth on those parent-child agreements on the the chat.
Right.
Different scenarios. That's kind of cool.
That is cool. All right, so yeah, again, if you don't, like Juan was saying, you can find your success manager in home. If you just want to reach out to us, have a question, need assistance with something, please reach out to partnersuccess@connectwise.com. Would love to help you out. If you're having any issues, please let us know. Any questions about any of the things that we do as a team, though? That kind of makes sense. I know a lot in the past people have had, kind of be confused with the difference between a success manager and an account manager. Does it make sense, the difference there? Yeah.
Yep.
Well, thank you guys. I appreciate the time.
Yeah. Anybody else need anything here?
Awesome. Great, John. Thank you so much for joining.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
John's so effective. You only got to say it once, and everybody's like, "Yeah, we got it now."
So is anyone else using a fractional CFO in the group?
No.
That
Well,
anyone else
you
heard
know,
of?
yeah, I actually I've heard of people using outsourcing like a virtual CFO and whatnot. It's pretty common. What the question always comes to play is what responsibilities do they really have with you? Because that's where the devil's in the details on what you want them to do with you. Because as CFO, you know what their job is if they're full time. But what do you know, you got to be very specific as to what your deliverables are for that CFO for a fractional one. Because you're limiting your time with them first off, and they're billing you an astronomical rate typically.
Yeah, I mean, it's more about the KPIs, the headcount, and the efficiency of the staff, process optimization, and making sure our processes are proper and help us continue to grow.
Are you looking for a project based, or are you looking for somebody who's going to be like a retainer paid, where you're going to sign a longer agreement with them so they can work with you and embed themselves
I
a
think
little bit?
either would be fine.
Okay. I may have somebody. I'll check and see if he's still on the market.
And
I'll let you
Trevor,
know.
with your text, does that mean you're looking at somebody currently?
No, mine was about a comment above. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah. Yvonne had asked, is there some best practice workflows?
So yes, I mean, every instance of Manage, when we spin it up, has some of the workflows already in it that we see a good percentage of the partner base using. But beyond that, if you go to the marketplace, I don't know if you're familiar with the marketplace. In your instance of Manage, if you have the client open, under System, there's a marketplace link. And when you click on it, it opens up the partner exchange, which is allows you to kind of import records others have created into your instance of Manage, workflow rules, service boards, those sorts of things. Anything with a CW colon in front of it was created by the ConnectWise education team, and those were based on the best practices that we learned, both from, that we developed and also from working with partners. So that's a good starting point. And generally, you can import those in, check them out, see how they, see how they're constructed, and then make them your own. They're really just designed to be a starting point. Awesome.
There's just actually the chats between everybody right now, so there's not any real questions. I don't know if you're looking at these, John.
I am.
If there's any feedback on any of it or anything you want to throw in there, by all means.
Okay, let me take a look.
And in the meantime, curious if we can get a count on how many people actually already registered for Chicago, because I know that Juan and I are trying to put together plans. Perfect. Look at that. We're already at 3. Look, we're on a roll. 4,
Yeah, 3.
4.
Hey,
there we go.
Throw that registration link back in the chat.
Right. Yeah. But you have the one that was created for you, right, Juan?
Yeah, for the group. Yeah.
Make sure you throw that back in there. We have like 45 registrants so far that we were told today, so that's really good. It'd be nice if we had 100% of the registrants actually make it, as long as there's nothing crazy happening. I mean, it's Chicago, and there's no way of telling if it's going to be like a tundra or if it's going to be like the Sahara in Chicago. But I don't know, John Jordan, are you going to make it to the Chicago event? I mean, I know it's really far for you to travel from Chicago to Chicago.
I mean, I might grace you my presence, as long as you maybe stay away.
I mean, well, you're not gracing me with your presence if I stay away. That makes 0 sense. Your logic is illogical.
It is in Burr Ridge, though, right, guys? I mean, come on. We couldn't pick a good location.
Well, maybe if you'd all start showing up, we could pick a better location. How about that?
It was nice last year. I like.
There's nothing wrong with Burr Ridge. It's not too far from my house. It's like 20 minutes, man. That's pretty nice for me.
The Burr Ridge is nice. The venue was nice. The night before extracurriculars are very limited in Burr Ridge.
Yes, you need to go You need to go to Oak Brook or
Yes.
Schaumburg. Those
Burridge
are
is
the
like
places.
throwing a party
to
at your
go.
grandparents' house. Meanwhile, the beer fridge is in Oak Brook, unguarded.
Yeah. Oak Brook or Schaumburg are the places you want to go next
It's
time, so.
not that far, so I mean we can get a
Well,
shuttle and go there.
Yeah, we were having we just had a conversation with Caitlin before this about, what we're gonna do for festivities. We're trying to beef it up a little bit. So we're gonna find out. We're waiting for budget for it to know what we can do. But again, that requires as many people to attend as possible so we can start getting some sponsors in there too, because it helps us pay for the event, honestly. I mean, because the user group experience is a loss to ConnectWise. There's no profit in that. It's a donation almost. So
They make plenty of that.
I feel
Well,
so terrible about
I
their
didn't say about
donation.
anything else. I'm just talking about that specific event, John. All right. You're not even at the meetings. Don't start interjecting now. Christopher, you can be involved. Your brother, not so much.
John, just text me what you want me to say to Sean, all right?
Don't. Christopher, I like you so much better already. Don't ruin who you are.
But if you can get a shuttle, that would be ideal. If you get a shuttle, I can guarantee John Jordan attendance.
So we won't worry about the shuttle, you're saying? Perfect. Oh. No, we're working on it. Seriously, we just had that conversation right before this meeting.
Yeah,
right before this.
and we've done shuttles in the past, so that's not an obstacle there for.
No, yeah, we're just
Go
waiting
somewhere.
for the budget conversation to finish up, which is supposed to be tomorrow, but we'll see. And that'll determine what we do. But it was a vote that we kind of were putting out there for, we socialized it, and the steak dinner thing is cool and all. I mean, but we find that to be so way too formal. And
Yeah.
if you're at you're at a table with somebody having a full dinner, that's hours that you could be mingling with each other and having like.
Yeah. And then just to help Juan and Sean out, I mean, if you're in this meeting and you're not in the Slack group, I mean, the link is in the chat. Get in there. It's a great place to ask a question. It's a great place for Sean to ignore a question about certain ConnectWise features, but
Yes.
It's a great communication tool.
Yes. By the way, any question you have about ConnectWise features, please put it in the group. I'm okay with that. General is good. But I do ignore certain people with their questions because they're stupid questions. But other than that,
So one other comment that I would have to make is the ConnectWise boss on Facebook, the Facebook chat is really good. I've posted a couple times up there, and so if you guys are looking for like general like questions, and it's not just related to manage or automate or whatever, it's all across Ethos. It's actually a good source for information, and you do there's quite a bit of people in that group that chime in on what their best practices are and stuff. So just for what it's worth.
That's a good call. What is the Facebook? There's actually there's ConnectWise Boss, and then there's also ConnectWise Tips and Tricks. Both of those are very, very good. And actually the facilitator for those is Adam Belensky that runs Sierra Pacific Group. But he doesn't promote anything from his own business, which is good because it keeps it very unbiased. It's all about you guys just getting information.
The other thing that I would say is that in some respects, going to the Facebook page and asking a question gets better and more thoughtful responses than going to, unfortunately, the support, like the primary support chat group. So just for what it's worth, no offense to the ConnectWise people in here, but you'll get better responses and more articulate responses related to issues.
Well, so you can see how offended John Lohr is by that right now. Look at his face; it's been the exact same the entire time. He's so offended.
Well, I mean, John knows me, so like I have no problems emailing Aaron and the rep and getting information from John. So
no, and I agree. Like I've done most of my business on through the MSP Facebook groups. It's always been easier to answer. You're going from one to many, which makes it so good because typically if you have that question, so does 1,000 other people. So it kind of helps. Also, we're looking at We do have a virtual community, which is getting better, and they're revamping it. So once that actually takes full effect, we'll look to move these groups into that, and you'll have the ability to ask those questions in there as well. And at least that way, in the virtual community, we will have representatives from all respective departments that need to be addressing this. That is the future, and it's been a big investment for us. So better be the future. All right. Anything else here, guys? Is there anything we have to address still, John? From your side? John Lore?
Oh, no. Thank you. Other than just thank you. Thank you for inviting me. Appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
You gonna be in Chicago?
Yes.
Awesome.
All the follically challenged people will be there from ConnectWise.
All right.
That's why Christopher Jordan's coming too.
I know these are recorded, Sean. I'm trying to keep it together.
You're telling me it's so
Yeah.
hard, Christopher.
We have fun here. We have fun here.
Are you going to wear the
Absolutely.
mask, Sean, at the meeting?
You know what? I will. I will wear it. As long as
The
Larry
mask?
wears his.
No. You're the worst.
You'll never let that one go.
Ever.
Good
Yeah.
Lord.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring the mask out of retirement for John Jordan's sake.
All right, so I think there's I really appreciate guys' feedback. So there is a survey for this session as well. So take it just a few minutes just to give us your feedback on that. And this will be recorded, and we're meeting again on Tuesday afternoon. Again, just to chat, bring any questions, whatever, socialize again, make friends, and learn from each other.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
All right. Thank you so much, John.
Yeah,
John,
thanks, John.
appreciate it, buddy.
Nice job, man.
Take care.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, John.
Take care, all. Toodles.